चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं भक्तिचक्करं गौराङ्गनिजप्रेष्ठितं श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी वनं नमस्तुभ्यं। श्रीराधाय कनिष्ठितं रसायनाकथामृतं सङ्कीर्तनामनन्दधाम गोस्वामिनां वनं नमः। नमों विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी इति नामिने। श्री कृष्ण लीला कथन सुदक्षाम् औदार्य माधुर्य गुणश्चयुक्तां वरं वरिण्यां पुरुषं महन्तं नारायणं त्वां शिरसा नमामि। त्रिदण्डिनं भक्तशिरोमणिं च श्रीकृष्णपदाब्जधृतायकहृदि चैतन्यलीलामृतसारसारां नारायणं त्वां सततं प्रपद्ये। वञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वृंदावै तुलसी दिव्याय प्रिया वै केशवस्य च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रतदेवी सत्यवत्याय नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Jai Shri Gurudeva ki Jai. And I would like to sing one beautiful kirtan which calls Jai Jai Shri Guru. But sorry, I don't know the page because I have Russian songbook. So you have to search yourself, please. Like 1 minute. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Page 29. Thank you. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Jaya Jaya Shri Guru Prema Kalpataru. Adbhutaya ko parakasha. Adbhutaya ko parakasha. Kiyaya geyana timira varajana. Kiyaya geyana timira varajana. Suchandra kirane karunasha. Suchandra kirane karunasha. Ihalochana nandadhama. Ihalochana nandadhama. Ayachita moheno patita herijo pahu. Ayachita moheno पतिता हेरी जो पाहो जाची दयालो हरि नामा जाची दयालो हरि नामा जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु दूरामती आगती सततय सते मती दूरामती आगती सततय सते मती नाही सुकृती लाभलेशा नाही सुकृती लाभलेशा श्री वृंदावना युगल भजन धना श्री वृंदावना युगल भजन धना ताहे करल उपदेशा ताहे करल उपदेशा जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु निरामला गौरा प्रेम रस सिंचने निरामला गौरा प्रेम रस सिंचने पुरालो जगा जनयाशा जगा जनयाशा सचरानाम बुझे राति नहीं हो यालो सचरानाम बुझे राति नहीं हो यालो प्रायत वैष्णवदासा प्रायत वैष्णवदासा जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु जय जय श्री गुरु प्रेम कल्पातरु अद्भुतय को पराकाशा अद्भुतय को पराकाशा
Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samavata Vrinda Ki Jai. Thank you, Ananda Pradhani Didi, for that lovely Kirtan and Mangalacharan. Thank you, Kunjeshwari Didi, for starting us up. And welcome to everyone for another festival day. Harikatha Prasad, Prasad and Harikatha also. The Prasad today is the Harikatha, and we will take Prasad in separation in a different way. Thank you again. So we have a list of 8 speakers today, starting from Ananga Mohan Prabhu in Mexico, who is now in Brazil with Srila Gurudev. And then we have Achyuta Krishna Das from South Africa, Leelanand Prabhu back to Brazil. He's with Gurudev also. We have Sanatan Das from USA, Madhuvrat Prabhu, also from Czech Republic, is there. I can see him. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. We have Krishna Jivani Didi from Brazil, is there also. Dandavat Didi. And Chandrika Didi from Wales, Dandavat Pranams, and Ananda Pradhani will speak last again to finish us off. It'll be very nice to hear everybody's offerings today. Every day is special and auspicious when we glorify Sri Krishna and Sri Guru. Sri Guru is the most dearest servant of Sri Krishna, and he has all the realizations in his heart to impart to us that Krishna wants to give us at the right time and right place. And we can see how this is quite mysterious and esoteric because we are all from different parts of the world, and somehow or another we are connected through Sri Guru to Sri Krishna, who is the universal Guru, Jagat Guru, Jagannath, Jagat Guru, and my Guru is Jagat Guru. And this way we are worshipping Sri Guru today. And for the next few days also, we're very auspicious. Tomorrow the Gurudev has agreed to come online. So please invite all your family and friends to come along.
It will be 12:30 UK time.
UK time, but of course we're going to log on at 10 o'clock with Uma Didi.
10:30.
We'll start our program, then Uma Didi will come at 10:30. So this is something very exciting. Srimati Uma Didi.
Srimati Savita Didi.
Srimati, so do you want to tell the group, please, Srimati?
And Shriman Uttam Prabhu as well will be speaking tomorrow. And then we will have Gurudev coming online for his Yasa Puja Day.
And if there's any, if we run out of speakers before 12:30-ish, then we can always improvise with some kirtans or some other speakers.
We can add some speaker to the list.
Thank you very much. Okay. So to introduce Ananga Mohan Prabhu, or before we do, we're speaking again from Sri Vyas Puja book on page 33. And we'll just read a paragraph at a time just to get you. How to fulfill Srila Gurudev's internal desire. Soon we will celebrate Vyasa Puja, the appearance day of Srila Gurudev. Try to understand the meaning of the word puja. Puja means to worship, but in fact this Sanskrit to fulfill the desires. Hence its meaning is the way we can satisfy the internal desire, manovishtam, of Srila Gurudev. If we are able to fulfill this desire, that is to serve Sri Guru, Sri Radha Krishna, under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari, this will be the real Vyasa Puja.
Wow.
And I remember also Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj saying, and somebody asking him this question, that it was mentioned yesterday, that immediately Gurudev answered that the best way to satisfy Sri Guru is to preach around the world, and to preach Harikatha, to speak Harikatha, and to preach the glories, speak of the glories of Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. This is the best way we can satisfy and fulfill the desires of our Gurudev. So again, Jahar Dekhe Tahar Kahe, Krishna Upadesh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions to us all is whoever we meet, whenever we meet them, we should glorify and speak to them about Krishna and instruct them in this way. Instruct means also that we have to follow. First you practice, then you follow. So without much ado, I hope Ananga Mohan Prabhu is there on our screens somewhere. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, please make yourself. He's there.
You can look for him, you can speak about him this time.
Yes. Yeah. Ananga Mohan Prabhu, are you there? He's all the way in Brazil, so it may be a little technical issue.
Actually, I cannot see him in participant list for now, so maybe there is some connection problem.
Oh, that's me. That's Anangamohan Das, me, the other Anangamohan I'm looking at. Okay, so if Achyuta Krishnadas Prabhu from South Africa is there, I can't see him either.
But Madhura Prabhu is there.
Madhura
Ananda
Prabhu is there.
Pradhanini there.
Ananda
Krishna
Pradhan
Jivanidhi is there.
Okay. Very well. Madhura Prabhu, can we call on you to a little bit earlier to save us?
Click on him.
Is there? If you unmute yourself,
Click on him.
Kunjeshwari, could you unmute him?
It's okay.
He's unmuted. Great.
Hello?
Thank you. Okay, Dandavat Pranams, Prabhuji.
Anna Pranam Prabhu. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Is it okay to
Okay.
call on you to make your offering a little bit earlier
Okay.
to save us?
I will
So-
put my timer here so I will know which time I can finish.
Yeah, we have 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I'd like to introduce you as a close friend and dear devotee, disciple of Srila Bhaktivinoda Goswami Maharaj. And I know that you're very keen always to see him, to meet him, to speak with him, to hear his Hari Katha, and to travel all over the world where you can. I know you make these sacrifices for him. You're also very keen to have his books, and we've exchanged those books across the oceans with you. And did you like to distribute them also? I'm very honored today to have to be able to hear your offering. So please, if you can share your heart, your Pushpanjali with us, it will be really appreciated.
Okay, bro. Manjana Mirandasya Jananya Shalakaya Shakshurmilitanyana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Gaura Pristaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Gosvami Namine Vandeham Bhakti Chakoram Gauraniya Prestitam Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Vana Namaha. Sri Radha Kanishtitam Rasayana Katambritam Sankirtanam Manandanam Goswami Nambanam Jagarpataru Yacha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha. Okay. First of all, I will start to speak about how I met Srila Gurudev. Meet a bona fide guru is very, very rare to find in this world. I met devotees when I was 17 years old. I was activist for the animal rights and also with a punk background, like a big stride, skinhead, and all these things. And at that time, I met devotees during Kirtan. And yeah, I was completely attached to it because of the chanting of the Maha Mantra Hare Krishna, and also because of the books of Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. After some time, after some months, I took initiation with one guru. I was brahmachari 3 years. I was living in the temple 5 years. So I was with him like 9 years. After some time, I was a bit disappointed, and I decided to break this relationship. So I started to pray for a bona fide guru. So for some reason, I already got a connection with the books of Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and also with the time Srila Narayan Maharaj. So I was listening one kata from Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj, and he was saying, you must cry for the mercy of Vaishnava, you must cry for the mercy of Guru. So I tried to follow his instruction, and I started to pray for, please Krishna, give me a bona fide Guru. Because by the mercy of Krishna, you get a bona fide Guru, or by the mercy of Guru, you get Krishna. So I started to pray to all these Vaishnavas, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshakshya Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, and Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. After some time, I met again one friend. We used to speak sometimes, and he spoke to me about Srila Gurudev. So he sent me one book. It's a Vyasa Puya book. It's a very nice book that we are reading also in between the lecture, in between the speech of every devotee. So I was completely, my heart melted. And yeah, so I wanted to meet Gurudev at that time. So we were sharing some things with some friends. So once we find out that Gurudev will be in Bolivia, in Cochabamba. So we traveled there, and then we were in the airport. The devotees came for us to the airport, and then we came back to the airport again because Gurudev was coming. And so in the arrival, there is a video on YouTube, like Srila Gurudev Vana Maharaj Cochabamba 2013, and I was completely like heart melted, like that, and it was really nice. The first time that so after the time it was the Harikata. So I was thinking, yeah, I was praying to all these Vaishnavas, and when Gurudev was giving the Harikata, he started the Mangala Charana. So he said, I offer my respectful obeisances to Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, Srila Bhaktivedanta Vama Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Raksasya Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Pramod Puri Maharaj, Srila Gaur Govinda Swami. So I say, oh, I was praying to all these Vaishnavas too, to find a bona fide Guru. So I realized this is my place. I should be here with Gurudev. So at that moment after the kata, Gurudev said, who is new here? Who is coming for the first time? So we were 3 devotees there, like we raised the hands. And he said, yeah, they are coming from another line, but we got an initiation, Harinam Diksha from this guru. But at that time, my English it wasn't good, so I didn't know how to communicate to Guru that I wanted to take his shelter. But the translator, the devotee, he says, yeah, they are here, but they want to take shelter with you, Maharaj. So yeah, Gurudev says, okay, what's your name? I say Madhukanta. It was my name at that time. Okay, I will give, the ceremony is tomorrow. You must do fasting tomorrow and clean clothes, and I will give you initiation tomorrow. So we were like, Haribol, Hare Krishna. So we were in Cochabamba, and then we traveled to, I forgot the name. I'm a bit nervous, but yeah. And then Gurudev, he gave us some darshans, and he explained the difference, the supremacy of Goloka Vrindavan. So he explained that Dwaraka, Mathura, it has a mood of more opulence. Dwaraka, Mathura, and Ayodhya is called Mahat Vaikuntha. So Krishna, according to every relationship, he manifests in different ways. And also, the complete sweetness is in Vrindavan. There is opulence, but it's covered by sweetness. Also, he explained about the Swarupa, that the Swarupa doesn't change by association, it's fixed. So he gave example, for example, you plant a seed of mango, a seed of banana, and a seed of, orange in the bank of Yamuna, and the mango will give mango, the banana will give banana, and so on. So he said Rupa Goswami started with this, like with this conception that by association the Swarupa is given. So by the association, he explained it, this Swarupa doesn't change this relationship. It's just you develop your relationship, your own relationship with Krishna. Also, he gave the example of Uddhava, because he came to Vrindavan to pacify the gopis and the gopas, all the Brajavasis. He had the association of the gopis, he had the association of the Sakas, and also Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. But his Swarupa, his relationship with Krishna, it was just as a friend. He could not go behind, like to take the mood of the gopis. He appreciated that, but his relationship, it was like in Sakya mood. Yeah. So yeah, it was like really nice to listen this. And yeah, like as you say, like to find this kind of relationship, we must feel very lucky. Like I really feel that when I was praying to get this kind of association, Krishna came to on my way in the form of Gurudeva. Also, like I wanted to say like how first I have some time, yeah. First, I read one book of Srila Narayana Maharaj. I was just with a friend of mine, one devotee in an ordinary library. So we saw one Bhagavad Gita. It was green. I say, oh, I never saw this Bhagavad Gita. What about this? And we say like down, it was with a commentary of Srila Narayana Maharaj. And we were thinking, no, Guru Maharaj doesn't like when we read these books. It's Sahajiya, I say. But then I was thinking, maybe it wasn't that bad. So after 3 weeks, I came with some money and I bought the book. And when I was reading the book, it was like amazing. I really wanted to read that. So we started to know more about Srila Narayana Maharaj with some friend, Brindavan Chandra from Chile. And so yeah, then in a hardcore show, hardcore punk, I was selling some merch, some t-shirts and stuff. One devotee was nothing to do with the hardcore punk scene. He had some books of Srila Narayana Maharaj. He was cooking. And I saw the books and I say, oh, give me these books. I take my money. So then when I was reading those books, I was like even more in love with Srila Narayana Maharaj. And so, and that's how it came. Also, so yeah, that's how I met Srila Gurudev and some of the treasures that he gave to me. I really not qualified to speak about these spiritual feelings. I really don't have any kind of merit to deserve this association. And I feel very lucky, like to have this and to. I was listening yesterday also all this day what you spoke, what you were sharing, and it was really nice to see how the bona fide guru he can enlighten and can uh, I can feel with love all these things. It's like how Srila Govinda Swami Maharaj says, first you must empty yourself because you are full of yourself. So Krishna, empty yourself and then Krishna can fill yourself with love for Krishna, this treasure of Krishna Prema. We are full of nonsense. We are full of anarthas. We are full of all these things. But by the mercy of Guru, we can clean our hearts. If we follow the process of chanting Hare Krishna, if we are following the sadhana, we can get this treasure of Krishna Prema. Sorry. I can't speak more. So yeah, I think that's enough.
Thank you.
I'm so happy to to listen all of you. I don't feel I can give something to you. Just by the mercy of Gurudev, I can speak some things. And so Bantakar Pataru Yatsa Pasindu Vasa Adidana Pamya Vaishnava Vyonamana.
That's very sweet, Madhurad Prabhu. You gave us so much. You gave us your heart, and you gave us the feelings of your heart, and you gave us your life journey. That's just a snapshot of it, of course. And there's always so much more behind. But it said that if you can offer one tear, which you're doing now, one tear to Srila Gurudev, then your life is perfected. And so you have nothing lost, or everything to gain, and you have gained everything.
Yeah. One more thing. Yeah. I have so much respect for you, Prabhu. I really miss all of you association. I'm so thankful with Kunjeshwari Didi who invited me to speak something for you, Prabhu. That
Yeah.
I miss you association. It's so crazy to be in this situation that we can meet personally, but this is really nice. At least
Yes,
I was missing so much to be with God brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, bro.
No, thank you. This is our heart's feeling, and we feel also the same. But like Jamuna sometimes says when she's on the phone to anybody she cannot reach physically, she says, "I'm giving you a big hug over the phone." So I'm giving you a big hug over the internet to embrace you. And thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you,
Never
bro.
feel that you're alone. Gurudev is always with you, and with Gurudev, Krishna is always there. So we are together in that service to Sri Guru and Sri Krishna. Whatever little we do, it's always very, very, very powerful. Thank you. So thank you very much for sharing with us.
Thank you, bro.
And much to all the devotees in Czech Republic and also. Okay. So to move on, do we have Anangamon Prabhu, or are we going to
Achyuta Krishnadas, South Africa.
Achyuta Krishnadas is there in South Africa?
Meanwhile, you can.
Yeah, just see if he's there. We can get him ready. Kunjeshwari, is Achyuta Krishna Prabhu there?
No, I cannot find him.
Okay.
Actually, and also Lilananda Prabhu seems he is offline as well, maybe because of some connection problems. So I see Sanatan Prabhu from Miami is here, ready. So maybe.
All right, Sanatan Prabhu, if we just introduce you in 2 minutes after reading this passage from the Vyasa Puja book. So if we do not give up all worldly things, do not follow the 4 regulative principles, and do not chant the holy names, it will be impossible for us to perform real puja. Meaning a dwarf who thinks, imagine a dwarf who thinks, oh, I'll touch the moon. It will never be possible. Premananda Thakur says in one of his songs, without climbing a tree, how can one pick its fruits? If we do not get rid of all anarthas, unwanted desires and thoughts, we will never become Srimati Radhika's maidservants. So this is our challenge, to get rid of all our anarthas. And but we try and try and try. But we keep praying and praying and praying, so these anarthas will go away. And one day we will reach that goal. And Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj is always telling us that this process of sadhu sangha, bhajana kriya, anarthani vritti, bhajana kriya is very important to get to our goal, to get to the stage of bhav at least. So without much more, we'd like to invite Sanatan Das Prabhu from USA. Sanatan Prabhu is working on Srila Gurudev's books quite extensively and is correcting and editing, and I keep sending him lectures to correct for me, which is a great service for Srila Gurudev. Are you there, Sanatan Prabhu?
Haribol, Hare Krishna.
Downwards, please accept our obeisances. Vancha Kalpatariyascha Kripa Sindhu Patithanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. we've met a few times across the travels around the world, in India and also in your hometown. So thank you for joining us today. I know you are also a very dear disciple of Srila Gurudev, and we're happy to have you here today to share your Pushpanjali with us and to enliven us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Omagyanatimirandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yana Tashmahi Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhaya Vachapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Srise Namaha Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadabhaktaya Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashari Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'd love to thank my spiritual masters and pay my unlimited obeisances unto my Guru Dev, Vishnu Padashtutara Shatashi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Van Gosvami Maharaj. I also like to pay my unlimited obeisances onto the lotus feet of my Param Guru Dev Nitya Om Padashtutara Narayan Goswami Maharaj, onto the lotus feet of Nitya Lila Pravishnu Vishnu Padashtutara Shatashi Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, to all our Guru Varga, senior devotee Vaishnava, Vaishnavis, and my beautiful God brothers and God sisters present today. I thank you, Kunjeswari, for organizing this beautiful program today in the past few days. And also I'd like to thank Ananga Mohan and Yamuna Didi for hosting the program. They have been so instrumental and so dear in my life. Actually, the first occasion that I met Guru Dev, I met them simultaneously. And it seems that in every important juncture in my spiritual path, they happen to be a very important part of that. When after having the great fortune of meeting Srila Gurudev back in 2016 in December here in Miami, afterwards when I decided to take Diksha, Yamuna Didi was also very instrumental in reconnecting me with Gurudev and setting up everything so nicely for a nice visit to India. And when I was in India, they were both there physically as well, also carrying me throughout the whole way and nicely guiding me, as well as all my other God brothers and sisters. So I pay my unlimited pranams to all of you. I think Gurudev said the other day how the main goal of our practice is to become the maidservants of Srimati Radhika, but first she sends us her sakis to prepare us. And I think in the same way, Gurudev sends us his associates before to prepare us for him. And he sent me so many nice association and got me ready for the moment that he came to take Harinam. And I think it's a very beautiful experience. Gurudev always says that even the briefest moment of a darshan of a sadhu, 1/11th of a second, can change your life. And I find ourselves so very fortunate because we get to spend, some of us, serving under him for so many years. So I think sometimes what is our great fortune? What is the great result of all this association, of all this service? And it seems just unfathomable. Gurudev is so merciful. He's such an embodiment of compassion and humility. And through the past few years, he has just shown me so much of how to be a person, how to be a man, how to be a father, how to be a devotee. Beyond your spiritual life, he just corrects everything that's wrong within you and just shows you the proper way to be a person in this material world, and as well as a servant in the transcendental world. Someone said something beautiful the other day that stuck with me, how he not only teaches you, but provides you the opportunity to do these things. We're so very fortunate. I find myself so very fortunate to have the great association of all my beautiful God brothers and God sisters who have been carrying me throughout this way. I always find myself very unqualified. Even today, I look back at the past 4 years of my life and everything seems very absurd how I ended up in this position, given my personal history. It is all due to Guru's mercy. I must have done something in some life or in this life or another to please someone. And I'm very grateful to have Guru Dev in my life, to have you all in my life. I reminded of a pastime of Guru Dev's compassion and humility. One time when we were we were just finishing Parikram at Navadvip 2017, and afterwards to Jagannath Puri, which I'm sure many of you have
Hare Krishna.
6 or 7 of us sevaks who he told us just come to this room in the top floor. We'll all be sharing a room there. So we entered the room, and it was a small room with one bed for all of us. So we were naturally preparing the room for Srila Gurudev and figuring out outside of the area where we would all stay. So we started preparing everything, and then Srila Gurudev comes in and he says, "No, I'll sleep on the floor outside. You guys take the bed." And immediately all of us are like, no, Gurudev, this cannot be. Please, you take the bed. We've set it up for you. We have a nice mosquito tent. And Gurudev insisted to the point of chastising. He said, I will stay outside and you will stay in this bed. And I think for the next 5 days, we all felt so shameful. But it was just Gurudev's grand display of humility. We felt even more shameful several days later during a katha. He was speaking how his sevakas had kicked him out of the room and made him sleep outside on the floor in a joking manner, of course. But we felt so shameful when we heard this. And, we never truly understand Gurudev's compassion and humility. I try to understand Gurudev's moods and absorb in his katha, but I feel like a young baby just trying to understand everything that their mother is doing for her. Gurudev is so merciful, and he gives us these nectarian kathas which stream out like a fountain from him, just endlessly pour out throughout the entire day, different junctions of the day, just nonstop, gives us this unlimited mercy. And it's just our responsibility to be able to. Gurudev always says of a pastime, Srila Vana Gosvami Maharaj, where one of his disciples approached him and said, Srila Gurudev, please give me mercy, please give me mercy. And Srila Vana Gosvami Maharaj was like, Are, I have already given you mercy. It's up to you to keep it. And Gurudev always says this, you have your cup and the mercy flows in, but if the cup has holes, the mercy starts coming out of the holes. And I feel my cup has many, many holes. Gurudev has always cleansing my heart, and I, like a young child who takes a bath and their mother arranges their clothes very nicely, and the first thing they do is go out and jump into the mud. I feel like this is my situation. Gurudev is always saying how the dynamic between a disciple and a guru is one where the disciple is always dirtying himself, and then the guru is always cleaning himself, and there's this challenge between both. He always says, who will win? Who will win this battle? So I pray that Gurudev beats me in this battle. I know I give him very good competition in this arena. So I hope that he never abandons me, never gives up on me, on all of us, continues to enlighten us, inspire us, so we may serve together endlessly. It has been my life's pleasure being under your all association. Gurudev is so near and dear to me, but I feel like you are even nearer and dearer to me as I get to speak to you more freely, associate with you all more freely. So I don't take that for granted. It's a very important thing in my life, and I'm appreciative of all your time, of all your love that all of you have shown me, your guidance. I arrived to India and I was completely lost, completely unaware where I was. And so many of you that I see before me held me and gave me so many beautiful lessons and chastised me when I made mistakes and showed me so much mercy. So I hope that in this life or another life, I can repay that service back to all of you. And now I know we have a very long program today with many speakers.
Dandavat pranams, Sanatan Das. Thank you very much for taking us back into time and pastimes with Gurudev and Jagannath Puri. Unforgettable. his humility exemplary, his service exemplary, and his dedication exemplary, and love and affection exemplary. You can't, 100% like that. And I remember sleeping on that bed with 4 or 5 others, the brahmacharis, probably on the floors, and we had to pass Gurudev's. Well, it wasn't even a room; it was actually the entrance corridor, and it was the area that was section where you would take a shower normally or take a bath that was all cleaned up nicely. And he was sleeping in that area. He made himself comfortable there. And it's similar to the story that Damodar Prabhu told yesterday of him going to massage Gurudev, and he got the wrong room. Gurudev was in a very simple room with a chadar on the floor and sleeping there. And he was just touched. Now his heart melted like ours. And yes, Gurudev's, there's no other way for him to do it but his way. So this is this is us showing us, how much he loves us. Thank you very much for that sharing. Beautiful. We'll keep in touch. And thank you for all your service, all your editing and help in that direction. Thank you very much. So next we have Leelanand Prabhu.
Krishna Jivani Didi.
Krishna Jivani Didi. If we can call on you to
You will read a little thing.
just to introduce Krishna Jivani, I have very few words and I don't know anything very much about you apart from that you served with Gurudev. When you served Gurudev, you took shelter under him and you did a lot of translation work for him and for BBT.
Oh, yes.
And also you've done also some work for Srila Bhaktivedanta Gosvami Maharaj. And we look forward to hearing from you. You're from Brazil. And, also traveled and studied Gurudev for 10 years. So a little bit there, but still, if you can tell us a little bit more and offer your Pushpanjali, that'll be really appreciated. Thank you very much.
You didn't read it.
Thank you. Haribo.
Hare Krishna.
Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanam Jana Shalakaya Shakshurum Militam Jana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Radhikaye Priyatmane Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Chinamine Vanchakalpatarubhascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I like to pay my obeisances to my beloved Gurudeva, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, to my beloved Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, our Prabhupada, to Sripad Bhaktivedanta Vana Maharaj, my Shiksha Guru, to all Guru Vargas, to all senior devotees, to Kunjesvari Didi, who gave me this opportunity to speak about the glories of the Sadhu Sangha and the devotees who are amazing, and I can speak the rest of my life, to Jamuna Didi, who hosted this program now. I first want to say how I met Sripad Maharaj. I have one friend, he called me and said, do you want to receive one sannyasi in your house? And I say, no. He said, no, this is a very nice sannyasi. And I say, no, I don't want any sannyasi in my home. He said, no, but this sannyasi is very, and I'm very proud. I said, okay, you tell to this sannyasi, if he come to my house to speak Harikatha, to honor Prashadam, and to do bhajan, I will accept him. Another way, no sannyasi more in my life. This way, Sripad Maharaj came into my house. First, I asked to him to choose one room, and he didn't take any prasadam. Then we went to the kitchen and did some prasadam, because first he was taking prasadam in another place. But when he arrived there, he said, I don't want to eat this prasadam. No, because I have carrots in another devotee's house. Well, this way he coming to my house, and first he came with Govinda Bhakta Prabhu, Ashram Maharaj, and this was in 2000. And okay, sannyasi coming, everything is okay, water, asana, everything what we should do. Later, starts the Harikatha. When Sripad Bhanu Maharaj started Harikatha, I was surprised. I cannot explain with words. His Harikatha is giving to me that time, this time is still giving to me everything what I want in all my devotional life. He started to speak, thinking what I want for many and many and many years. Now he was sitting in front of me and giving me everything what I want. Well, first Sripad Bhanu Maharaj, he used all the devotees, not only me, but all the devotees which I invited to come into my house was in the same state, in the same situation. And Sripad Bhanu Maharaj, first, he used to give a class like a 6-hour class. He's sitting 7 in the morning, it was midday, he still giving class. Then Srila Gurudeva told to him, no, they don't digest what you gave to him. You should give a class only 1 or 2 hours. In this way, Sripad Bhanu Maharaj stayed in home for 4 days. And before Sripad Bhanu Maharaj, I was like, it's a difficult word to me to say, anesthesiated, like when you take anesthesia, like in Brahman, because sometimes you chant your mantras, you worship your Thakurajis, you're reading the Granthas, you're reading the Shastra, but without sadhusanga, this cannot have effect in your life. When I met Sripad Bhanu Maharaj, this gave me so much life. When he left my house, I left behind him. I went till one can be with him. When he really left, I think, can you imagine how is his Gurudeva? Because one disciple cannot cross over his Gurudeva. One disciple never can be more elevated than his Gurudeva. And I think if his is like that, can you imagine how is his Gurudeva? 6 months later, Sripad Bhanu Maharaj come back to my home and say, you should come and meet Srila Gurudeva because he will be here in Brazil. You should come, you should come, you should come. He shakes my hands and say, you should come to meet Srila Gurudeva. Then me, my family and friends and some devotees, everybody we come to see Srila Gurudeva. The first time when I met Srila Gurudeva was really, really very, very special. And Sripad Bhanu Maharaj was there. Well, in my life with Srila Gurudeva, Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, Sripad Bhanu Maharaj always are there doing something. Then the first time when I met Srila Gurudeva, he told me, I never will give up you. And always I will send Sripad Bhanu Maharaj to help you. And after this, before this, I was with Sripad Bhanu Maharaj. But Sripad Bhanu Maharaj is always with me in all moments of my spiritual life. Everything what I did to Srila Gurudeva coming through Sripad Bhanu Maharaj. If I did some seva to Gurudeva, is because of him. He told you, she translating book. Okay, now she's translating my book. If Sripad Bhanu Maharaj used to cook to Srila Gurudeva, every time when Srila Gurudeva coming, he say, where is Sripad Bhanu Maharaj? call him. I want he cook to me. And because I was serving Sripad Maharaj, I will cooking to Srila Gurudeva too, helping to chopping the vegetables and things like that. Everything what I did to my Gurudeva coming to Sripad Maharaj. Then Sripad Maharaj started to travel around the world, especially here in Brazil. In Brazil has no devotees. We have devotees, but from another Sangha. We don't have any Gaudiya Mata here. We don't have few devotees of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj here. Few, or maybe 15 or 20. Think like that. And Sripad Maharaj started to travel, and I started to travel with him. Bring him here and there. Here is a big, huge country. And that time we have no car, we have no prasadam, we have no bogan, have no place to stay. Sometimes Sripad Maharaj travel for more than 18 hours by bus. He didn't eat anything. When he started to do his Harikatha, sometimes when arrived in one place, has only 2 persons. And he spoke Harikatha like 4,000 persons. He's always giving so much mercy, so much from Mahaprabhu, so much from our Goswamis, so much from our Gurudeva. He never spoke like him. I think all time he say Gurudeva said, our Goswami said, our Guru Goswamis told this. And was very hard. Then I started to do the same thing what the devotees told to me. I call the people and say, hey, do you want one sannyas in your house? No, this is a very special sannyas we should receive. In was really, really very hard times. I can say I had hard times for me, not for Sripad Maharaj, because sometimes really we'll travel 2 or 3 days without prasadam. He can say to me, okay, you can go in and eat one pizza, but I don't will eat nothing. No. And just sometimes he come into India and say, oh, look, I met this devotee in India. He lives here in Brazil in this place. And then I call the devotees and say, we go, but say, oh, I don't have money, don't have anybody here. You say, okay, no problem. We go by bus. Then Tirthanidhi Didi later come in with us and another devotees, Nanda Gopal Prabhu, stay with us. Then we start to travel by car. And slowly I saw with my eyes how 15 devotees become 1,000, 15 devotees. No, thousands and thousands devotees only by mercy of Sripad Maharaj and giving and without causing mercy for everybody. And many joins, and how he steals the hearts of everybody because he's totally sincere. I'm quite impressed with him, with his behavior, because he has no hypocrisy, no duplicity. Everything what he speaks is truth in his life. And his life is the Shastra. He is not different from the Shastra. He's not different from our Goswamis. He's not different from my beloved Gurudeva, Bhaktivedanta Narayana Maharaj. He's an extension of him. Now, be with Sripad Maharaj changed completely my life, because he showed me it is possible being this material world with one sadhu, with the lived Shastra. No, he's the Shastra who walking. No, it is possible, and if it's possible, and he's so close to us. No, I say Usually another day say, oh, you are my Gurudeva, but I love to call you Ban Maharaj. They say, oh, you are Pago, but we are so close to him. But at the same time, he's so huge, so close to the most precious thing what all we in our line want. It is Srimati Radhika. So close to her and so close to us. We can say our many foolishness to him in the same way he accepts everything, and all day still keeping teaching and teaching and teaching and speaking and giving something, everything. He say, I'm giving to you everything, but your pot is full of hole. You cannot understand. You cannot keep inside everything what I give to you. But no problem. Stay listen, eat prasadam and serve Guru and Vaishnavas. In this way you can go. I really can say we travel for so long. I have so many things to do, to tell you. 15 minutes is impossible. Maybe can be 15 million life, how the small things and big things what Ban Maharaj did, funny things, and how he is amazing. Tomorrow is Gurudeva Disappearance Day, no? And I want to share with you when Maitla Gurudeva coming to Nitya Lila, Sripad Ban Maharaj was traveled to Brazil. And I met him 3 days later, no? Because he was traveling, he was flying to one city, and I met him in the connection, no? And when I met him in the flight, he told me, I knew he was very, very, very quiet, very silent, very inside himself. And he told to me, I knew Srila Gurudeva went to Nitya Lila when I arrived in the airport and I didn't listen the sound of the mridanga in the kartalas. When I didn't listen the sound, I knew Gurudeva was not more here in this planet. Then he went to Gauravani Gaudiya where he is now today, and was in his room for 3 days. When I met him, he told to me about Srila Gurudeva, about his mother, and more few things, and become quite all the travel, all the journey. Then we arrived in one devotee's house. And the next day, one devotee coming and say, hey, I want a Diksha. I want my Diksha mantras. And Sripad Ban Maharaj told, okay, come at 4 p.m. And at 4 p.m., the devotee is coming. Then I went into his room first and asked to him, Sripad Ban Maharaj, every time when someone asks to Harinam or Diksha, I bring the pictures of Srila Gurudev here, ask for the persons bring some offer by fruits and flowers and put in the lotus feet of Srila Gurudeva. But now, if someone coming here and give Harinam and Diksha to these persons, officially, this person will be your disciple. How I can proceed now? What I can do? Because formally will be the Gurudeva of this person who coming now. How I can proceed? Because at first it was, I know what I can do. No, but now I don't know. And then Sripad Maharaj, with his eyes full of tears, he told to me, sometimes he speak to me like your Gurudeva. When he say your Gurudeva, he spoke about Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Then he told to me, hey Krishna Divini, I gave my life in the lotus feet of your Gurudev. Every penny, what I collect in my life, I gave in the hands of your Gurudev. I gave my blood, my intelligence, my mind, my prana, everything I gave in the lotus feet of your Gurudev. All these flowers, all these dikshas, all this harinama, what I gave to the lotus feet of your Gurudev. And now this don't will be different, will be the same. Bring the pictures of Srila Gurudeva. Put here, bring the fruits and flowers and everything, every harinama and every diksha and every soul who comes here to me, I will put in the lotus feet of your Gurudev. Then we'll be, wow. In this way I saw Sripad Maharaj, because he gave everything to Srila Gurudeva. He has many and many and many and thousands and maybe millions of persons who give his heart to him, to give his heart in the lotus feet. And then he gives everybody, every us in the lotus feet of my beloved Gurudeva, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. I can really say so much, so many. I don't know if we have time. We have many speakers. Maybe someone can speak about the last Vyasa Puja of Srila Gurudeva in Brazil, how Sripad Maharaj make all the arrangements and how he's very happy to serve his Gurudeva.
Yeah, thank you, Didi. Thank you so much for your offering. Vancha kalpatarvyascha kripasindhu viracha patitanam pavaneshna namo. We can only thank you for sharing your wonderful, beautiful stories and your personal relationship with Srila Gurudev and Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. They are not different in this way because they are so closely connected with each other, and you're showing us that. And we're seeing that how much he loves the Brazilian devotees. And so many years from the very beginning, from 97, he has been coming to you. And he's like a farmer plowing the dry land. First, he has to take out all the hard, big stones and lumps, and he's done that with his own effort, with his own strength, spiritual strength. And then he's taken out the other weeds, and then it's pulling out, and now slowly the ground is becoming fertile, and you can see the flowers, slowly buds coming, and then there will be fruits coming very soon, as they are already coming. And we can see you all as those very beautiful fruits of Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj's hard work. Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak about it.
Yes, if there is opportunity, we would like to invite you again. And I hope you're writing a book. I hope you're writing all those memories down.
Yes, we have many stories here to tell.
Yes, I'm sure everybody has, but there are some special souls that have received that special mercy, and I think you're one of those special souls.
Very fortunate.
Yeah. Thank you very much. No, I think we have, before we read the next passage, I think we have Lila Ananda with us. I know we've, is Lila Ananda? Ananga Mohan Prabhu is there. Maybe, Haribo, we can, oh, Leelananda is also there. So you have to decide between the two of you who is going to come. While we short passage, both of you are just also, you can't speak together. You one in
Anangamon was first on the list.
Anangamon Prabhu was first on the list, but he was.
If Leelananda Prabhu can wait.
Okay, yes, no problem.
Thank
Yes,
you very much.
thank you.
So we'll just read this little short excerpt. Jamuna will read.
So the next passage from this beautiful lecture that Srila Maharaj gave about how to fulfill Srila Gurudev's internal desire. Everyone's heart melts when we hear, I want to become Srimati Radhika's maidservant. We do not want to become Ramachandra's servant or servant of Lakshmi Narayan, nor the servants of Krishna in Dwarka. We want to serve the beloved of Rajendra Nandan Shri Krishna. The song composed by Shanaruttam Das Thakur and Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur like Radha Krishna Pranamora that Leela Madhuri Didi sang so beautifully yesterday, and Palyada Sikori reveal the moods of Srimati Radhika's maidservant. If all anartha do not go out of our heart, however, this kind of sentiment will never manifest within us.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. Anangamon Prabhu is a dear God brother as well. And not only having the same name, but I think we have the same soul, same heart. He's like my other manifestation on the other side of the world. He's with Srila Gurudev now, so I can't be with him. So Anangamon is there also. I hope Gurudev treats you like he treats me, sometimes with a little bit of roughness, because he loves you so much. And thank you for coming and joining us. Please, if you can offer your Pushpanjali. Yeah. And you've done so much service for Srila Gurudev and continue to do so. You've opened a temple and you've also brought many flowers to his lotus feet, which
Translated books.
yeah, and translated books. Do you want to-
No.
So please join us today, and your glories are preceding you.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Didi. Okay, so Om Ahyam Tirimandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Gosvami Namine. Om Brindayai Tulasi Devayai Priyayai Kesavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradedevi Satyavatya Namo Namaha. Yaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you everyone, and I'm so sorry for the delay, but now I'm here in Brazil, so I depends on other devotees' internet. And I'm so happy to be here. This is like the 4th year that I'm with Gurudev in this special day, so I feel very blessed, and I thanks to Krishna and Srimati Radhika every day to have this opportunity to spend this time with Srila Gurudev, because it's not on us that we decide to come, it's that he decided to bring us here, and he made all the arrangements so we can be here with him. And actually we don't need to ask like him to come, because he already know that we were in a spiritual emergency of sadhu sangha, especially in these times. So he made all the arrangements to be here with him. And I feel like a dump here, because there are many people, many senior devotees that made too much service for Param Gurudev Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and also for Srila Gurudev. And I didn't did anything for him yet. So, but anyway, just for my purification, I just want to share a few memories, because he already asked me to speak on the day of his Vyasa Puja, what I felt also like a dump, because Brazil is like Gurudev's kingdom, and here I'm speaking in front of all these devotees here, for me is like, I feel shame to do that. So I had the chance to take shelter in Srila Gurudev. First, I want to apologize with everyone because I commit many Vaishnava Parat. That's the reality. I commit many Vaishnava Parat because I was with a Kanguru for many years, 10 years I was with him. So I was traveling with this so-called guru, like Gurudev said, and I served him also in other countries, and he injected some poison in my heart because he was very envious with Param Gurudev, with Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And actually, the first temple of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj in Mexico was opened in 2005. And I had the chance to be there when the temple was open. And I made a friendship with the devotees at the start. He sang in Mexico, but I never heard the message. I never heard his message. I had the chance, but I never took any advantage on this opportunity, maybe because my Sukriti was not mature also. And so I was hearing all this time, all this Vaishnava Parat against Param Gurudev. So in the year of 2007, I was serving this sannyasi in India, and he was doing something for the World Vaishnava Association. And he asked me to take one invitation to the Navadvip temple of Param Gurudev. So I went to many temples and had the chance to take darshan of many Vaishnavas, Srila Bhaktivala Tirtha Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vaibhapuri Goswami Maharaj, and put this letter in their hands. But when I went to Navadvip, one brahmachari received me and he said, like, Gurudev now is resting. He's not able to attend this. So just give me the letter and I'll give him the letter. At that time, 2007, the temple, I remember, was under construction. So the temple is not like these days, it was under construction. So, okay, I said, okay, and I went back. So next day, I took one rickshaw to go to, no, next day, next month, sorry, next month, we were in Brindavan, and I took a rickshaw to go to Govardhan, and on that rickshaw, there was one devotee, one female devotee, and she told me that she was disciple of Param Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And she told me, my Gurudev is now is going to give Harikatha. She was dressing quite sari. I never met her anymore. She was a little bit chubby and she was dressing quite sari. But she told me, my Gurudev is now giving some Harikatha at Govardhan Temple. So maybe you can go with me and maybe you can meet him. When I told the name of the guru that I have at that time, she was very respectful, but she said, you should come and meet the Gurudev. So we went to the Govardhan Temple, and when I was on the door, I saw the temple like full of devotees, and but I felt like a lot of fear because all the poison that was injecting my heart and in my mind. So I just gave my Dandavats Pranams and immediately I went out. Okay, so now I know I commit this Vaishnava Parat, but a few years passed after that, and in 2011, finally, I opened my eyes and I reject this guru, and especially because I start to read Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj books, and I felt a lot of inspiration. And I was thinking, like, I've been here in this mission for 10 years and I'm feeling that I'm not making any progress. But now reading the books of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, I feel very happy now. So I went and reject this guru. And I asked him just blessings to go and take shelter under one Vaishnava on the line of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, because at that time he was not already present. He entered in Nitya Lila 2010. Actually, I remember when he entered in Nitya Lila because that day my son born, and I saw on Facebook everywhere that he entered in Nitya Lila. So so I was trying to find one Vaishnava under the line of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and at that time many Vaishnavas on his line, especially his Western sannyasis, were coming to Mexico, and I was attending the class, and I liked what I never felt anything special. But anyway, I took the decision to take shelter only on the line of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. So I entered in YouTube, and I saw one Harikatha, and I saw Sripad Bon Maharaj, and I saw this Harikatha. I think was a Harikatha that he gave in Europe. And I saw that video, and I said, "Who is this sannyasi? Who is him?" I felt like something very special in my heart, and I said, "He's giving the same Harikatha that Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj is giving. So I have to meet him. I don't know who is him, where is him, but in any way, I have to meet him." So I went to the Pure Bhakti website, and I saw his email address there. And I just sent him a letter asking for, please, I know I never met you in person, but I need, and I want to take shelter from you. So I've been waiting for a lot of time to take shelter on the line of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and something in my heart says that needs to be with you. Actually, before that, Sripad Bhaktivedanta Sayan Maharaj went to Mexico, and when I asked him to forgive me because all the Vaishnava Aparat that I commit against Param Gurudev, he told me he's a very powerful Vaishnava, so just pray to him, just pray, and he will send you someone like him to give you shelter. So actually he taught me how to pray. I had a deities of Gornitai, and he told me pray to your Gornitai deities, and he will send you, he will make the arrangements to send you this Vaishnava that represents him. So it was just after that I saw this video on the internet. I sent an email to Gurudev, and he said, "No, I will not give you shelter because you already took Diksha from other gurus, so there's no need to give you Diksha again, and there's no need, I can give you Siksha." So I said, "But Gurudev, please," like many emails I sent him, and he said no. But one day he answered, I have one book. The name of the book is Jewels of the Heart. So you should translate my book in Spanish. Okay, if you translate my book in Spanish, then we will discuss. Okay, at that time I was not able to meet him or travel because I was on the college. So I started to translate the book, and when I finished the book, I sent him the translation, and he called me one day from Bolivia, and he told me, "Okay, now I will give you shelter, I will give you Harinam." So he changed my name. He gave me this name, Ananga Mohan. And I feel very blessed because he told me Ananga Mohan was one of the brahmacharis of Srila Bhaktivedanta Keshava Goswami Maharaj. And also I feel very blessed because I have so much love for Ananga Mohan Prabhu that is here. And because actually Gurudev encouraged me to be close of Jamuna Didi and Ananga Mohan Prabhu. One day I told him, "Gurudev, how can I learn to serve you?" And he said, "Just approach to Jamuna Didi and Ananga Mohan Prabhu, and they will teach you how to serve me." So I feel very blessed also to be close to you. And okay, but going back, so after I sent this email, he called me and gave me Harinam through Skype. He tried to give me Diksha, but he said, "Just continue chanting your mantra, and maybe we will meet each other in India." I couldn't go to India because I was at college, like I mentioned. So it was only until 2015 that one day I just go to the internet and I said, I cannot be anymore without meeting him. I know he's my guru, but I need to meet him in person. So I just went to the internet, buy a ticket, and came to Brazil with all my family. The small kid was just 6 months. And I came to Brazil, and he gave me Diksha. And the name of the place was Itapecerica da Serra. So actually, the festival was held on the same place where Param Gurudev had his last Vyasa Puja. So on the day of the Viraha Mahotsava and the Avirbhav Titi of both Param Gurudevs, Gurudev gave me Diksha that day, and also my wife took shelter with him. She also was under the guidance of one devotee, and Gurudev just saw her and told her also to take initiation from him. And my kids also took initiation that day from Srila Gurudev. And that day Gurudev told me, like, where are you coming from? And I said, I'm coming from Mexico. Do you remember me? Oh yeah, some Skype conversation. Okay. And I said, please go to Mexico, because he never been there. And I said, please, Gurudev, you should come to Mexico. There are many devotees there. Param Gurudev was there, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Gosvami Maharaj, and like the Sangha was like broken at that time. So maybe we need you. Huh?
1 more minute. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So like 2 months later, he called me and I said, I'm going to Mexico. So he went to Mexico, and on the first visit, he made a promise. He said, only I'm going to Brazil. Maybe there are European countries where I do a stop on the way to India. But there are only one country that I go every year twice, and that is Brazil. And he told me, and because I'm very happy with the service that you are doing in Mexico, the second country will be Mexico, that I'm going twice a year. So he's been going twice a year since he never failed. He's been going to Mexico from that day. Later, he also gave us the instruction to open a temple. So the mat was opened 2 years ago. And he instructed me also to translate books, and my wife to design his books. And my wife has been designing all Gurudev's books. So I feel very happy that he's encouraged us to do some service, because we don't have any qualification. We are just we're Grihamedis actually. We have 4 kids. We don't have time with yours. We're just business people. But anyway, he's all the time in contact with us and trying to encourage us to do some service. And he has now like more than 100. At the beginning, we were only us in Mexico, disciples of Gurudev. Now he has around 120, 150 devotees there, something like that. So I'm very happy, because I know that Gurudev catch me to be a part in some way, to be a part of his mission, because he's doing everything. We are not doing anything. He's just doing everything. So I feel very happy and feel very blessed also to be here with you. And I've been traveling also with Gurudev, so I don't know why he's calling me. If I have kids, I have a wife, and I have to go and work. But I feel very happy that every year, at least 3 times or 4 times, he called me to go and travel with him. So I cannot say anything less. Just the time is finished already. I have some memories of things that happened in Mexico when he went, but I don't want to take the time of others.
No, thank
you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
It's so difficult to stop Vaishnava from glorifying their Gurudev. I'm not stopping, of course, but I'm just resting. We want you to rest for a little while before we hear somebody else to speak. It's continuous. It will be the same Harikatha, same glorification of Gurudev from another very nice devotee, Lilanand Prabhu. So please don't feel that we're not letting you speak. My apologies for that. But if you can just tell us if Gurudev has chastised you yet?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, many times he called me pagal, he called me
Okay.
nonsense, rascal. Yeah, but he always do this with love, and I know like he's like a father that love all his kids, because that is the special in Gurudev, that you feel that he loves you any more than anyone, and every one of us feel that he loves you. He loves us more than anyone.
So next time we want to hear some of that loving exchange between you and Gurudev. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. And regards to
thank you
Gurudev,
very much.
please give our pranams to Gurudev from all of us here, and tell him we miss him very much. We look forward to seeing him tomorrow. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll do that, and thank you so much. And I'm sorry for to Lilananda Prabhu. He's also one of my dearest friends, and I'm so sorry.
No. He's next. So without much ado, I'd like to invite Lilanand Prabhu.
Your mic is off, Prabhu.
Sorry. Lilanand Prabhu is just probably next to you in the next room. And if he can unmute himself also, please accept our obeisances, and please welcome to the Sangha online to glorify Srila Gurudev, give some Pushpanjali. You are close to Gurudev for many years and traveled with him also and do many services that we don't often hear about, because you're very quiet yourself and Gurudev keeps you very close in his heart. And so please share with us your realizations and your Pushpanjali.
Dandavat pranams to all devotees here. Amayanti Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramritanjana Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Radhikaya Priyatmane Shishimad Bhakti Vedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Namne. Namo Vishnu Padaya Gaura Prashtaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Bana Namne. Vancha Kalpatarvesha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So I'm very happy to be here with all of you. Kunjeshwari Didi, she invited me, so I'm very glad to be here. And yeah, these days we were in a little rush because we were with Sripad Maharaj, in São Paulo, then in Pindamonhangaba here in Brazil. Now I'm in São Paulo. I'm back to São Paulo. I'm not in Rio. Maharaj is in Rio, and I came back because tomorrow we're going to have his Vyasa Puja here in the temple, and he has many disciples here in São Paulo, so we're going to celebrate here, and also the disappearance of Srila Gurudev the next day, and so we're going to have this festival here with the devotees who couldn't come to Rio, and we'll do here in the temple in São Paulo. Well, I'm very happy that when I came, I saw Krishna Jivani Didi here, and I was wanting to listen from her and exactly what she spoke. I was thinking, it would be very nice if Krishna Jivani Didi would speak about when Maharaj came to Brazil and how they travel and everything, how the difficulties of the preaching and taking buses, for hours and hours. So because this shows how Sripad Bhaktivinoda Maharaj is very, very humble and very dedicated to serving Srila Gurudev. Yeah, he's very. He's been speaking these last days about Guru Nishta, and he's he has this Guru Nishta. And how intimate he was and he is from Srila Gurudev, Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And you see, for us who had the chance, the opportunity to be with Srila Gurudev for a moment, like one sight from Srila Gurudev, or or one word from Srila Gurudev, you know, this is very special. Yes, but Sripad Bhaktivinoda Maharaj for 30 years, little more, he could like personally serve Srila Gurudev, and all his life he could serve the Vaishnavas. So he was very intimate to Srila Gurudev, like Krishna Jivani. She was saying, oh, maybe someone could speak about 2010, the last Vyasa Puja. I'm very happy that I'm here, and she spoke about this because I can share something that I heard. I was there in 2010, but I was very, very new. I didn't know anything. I can share my experience also there in that festival because it was very merciful. That festival with Srila Gurudev. But he, in 2010, 2011, when Ananga Mohan came with his family, and he took Diksha, she was saying, Ananga Mohan Prabhu. And that festival, it was 2011 or 12, I don't know. But he spoke how this 2010 festival happened. Yeah, Gurudev was actually, he was going to South Africa, yeah, instead of coming to Brazil. And he told how he came to Gurudev. Gurudev was like resting, and he came to Gurudev and started to massage his feet, you know, Srila Gurudev's feet. And Gurudev then asked, what do you want, you know? And then he said, oh, Gurudev, if I'm speaking something that you remember more details, Krishna Jivani did, you can come and speak something, okay? And then Srila Gurudev said, well, okay, what do you want? Because he started to massage Gurudev's feet. And he said, oh, you know, you're going to South Africa, but come to Brazil. Because if you come to Brazil, yes, there will be like 1,000 devotees there. Yeah, we will arrange a very big festival, very nice festival. And the doctor had told that Gurudev could not travel so much, but anyway, he like convinced Srila Gurudev, and because of he had a very intimate relationship with Srila Gurudev, and Gurudev came to Brazil. That's so fortunate for us, yeah. And then in that festival, it was the time actually that I really got really faithful about Srila Gurudev. You know, I had some doubts before. I was very new because when I came, Krishna Jivani, she was there. She came to Fortaleza, the city where I was born. I was there, and I was totally lost in my life. But then one day I was searching for something spiritual, and one friend of mine, who now is Brahmachari Chaitanya Das Brahmachari, he lives in India. He came to Fortaleza, and he invited a friend of us in common to come to see Sripad Bhaktivinoda Maharaj. And this friend of ours told me, oh, you know, the Chaitanya Das, not this name, he used this Karmi name, but he said, Chaitanya Das is here, let's see him. And I went there just to see him, not to see Maharaj, you know. But when he started to speak, and I thought like this, oh my God, this is what he's speaking, this is truth, you know, this is the truth, the real truth. This is it, you know, this is truth. So but anyway, I just, after this, I was very touched, but after this, I took this friend of ours that was staying with Maharaj to the place where they were staying. And the next day he called me 5 a.m. and he said, do you want to take initiation? And I said, yeah, why not? I thought, okay, if this person, he's like a fraud, I will find out in time, so no problem. And then I went there, and we went to Skype, and he called Gurudev, and Gurudev spoke Mahamantra. And then 2 years after this was 2008, 2 years after this, in this festival of 2010, last Vyasa Puja of Srila Gurudev in Brazil, when I was full of doubts, you know, my head was totally disturbed. And but and when I got there, I thought, well, maybe this is like brainwash. Everyone seems to be happy, but it's like brainwash, you know. But then when I sit there and started to listen to Harikatas, Gurudev didn't speak so much. He speaks something, but then he would call his sannyasis to speak, because he was like in his sickness pastimes, like old age pastimes, you know. So he would call, but then I would feel that all the answers were being given. Like I was thinking, what about this? And then like change of subject to what I was thinking and answering, you know. I felt like this, like in the first Harikata, I was amazed, totally amazed. My mind was completely destroyed, you know, and about the doubts. And then I thought, you know, he knows what's best for me, Srila Gurudev. So the next days I was treated like a baby. Everything that I thought, like I want water, someone would come and give me water from nothing, you know. Do you want water? Like this. This happened during all the festivals. So I was taken care like a baby. So I felt like, okay, this is it. I have to follow him, you know. And this was by the mercy of Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj. I'm pretty sure that Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj, like this is his style of giving Harinam, you know. It was like the manjaris. They are manifestations of personifications of Shrimati Radharani's moods, or Rupa Manjari, who is the Rupa of Shrimati Radharani, and Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj is the very mercy of Gurudev, you know, very giving, very easily, you know, but very serious, because he can give. Actually, he's like a fire, you know. If you try to if someone who would not be Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj, who tried to have so many disciples, or give Harinam to the people like this, they would maybe fall, you know. But Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj is like fire. You cannot throw like a cup of water and it won't be extinguished, the fire, you know. He can destroy all the anarthas. He won't be contaminated, because he's completely transcendental. Once I was in with some devotee that had doubts. He was from ISKCON before. He was like a child from ISKCON. His parents were from ISKCON. So he grew up, and he was speaking to Sripad Bhaktivinoda Sajan Maharaj. Yeah, I was listening, and he was like saying, about some sannyasi from ISKCON that had fallen, and he was like having problems with being faithful to devotees, to Vaishnavas other than Srila Gurudev. And then Sripad Bhaktivinoda Sajan Maharaj said, and he was saying, yeah, Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj, he's very trustable, but you never know. He said like this. And Sripad Bhaktivinoda Sajan Maharaj said, no. In Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj, you can trust, you know, because he will never fall. I heard from the lotus lip of Srila Gurudev directly. He is a pure devotee. Gurudev would speak about Sripad Bhaktivinoda Ban Maharaj like this. He is a pure devotee. So he's above all this situation of material contamination, you know. So and he was speaking these days about Guru Nishta. He's like the perfect example of Guru Nishta. The words of Srila Gurudev that he should come and preach everywhere, preach throughout the world. Even when Srila Gurudev disappeared, when like Krishna Jivini was saying that he was coming to Brazil, he continued his preaching, yeah, and he would give Harinam and Diksha, and all till today, when he's going to give initiation to someone, he asks the persons to speak the Pranam mantra of Srila Gurudev, you know. So he's got so much nista in Srila Gurudev.
Yeah. 3 more minutes, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. So And there are many wonderful pastimes about Sripad Bhaktivedanta Maharaj that I could see, because like Krishna Jivani Didi was saying, he's like the walking Harikatha, you know, all his actions, he's acting perfectly, you know. So if you really watch what he's doing and what he's speaking and how he's doing, then you can get so much mercy, because he's an ocean of mercy. And one thing that I remember, that he spoke two things. One thing very nice. He was saying, like, when he was he spoke in a morning walk in Pindamonhangaba, Taubaté, some years ago, where there was a Bhagavad Saptaha there, and he said that when he was a child, he would climb the trees, mango trees, and he would take the mangoes, not take out the mango. He would like make a small hole and press the mango, and he would suck all the mango juice, yeah, and leave the mango there. He was speaking this very like innocently and very and his mother, when she found out, she like beat him, you know, chastised him very much, because he was doing this with all the mangoes in the trees. So it's like he's like this, you know. He's just Bhakti Chakora. He only gets the juice, the mango and the seed. It's out, like he leaves it, but he only gets the bhakti, yeah, from everything. And he only sees bhakti. He's completely transcendental. And other time, we were in Fortaleza, where I came from. We were in the beach, and one devotee asked him, what are the manjaris like, you know? I was remembering this because of this verse, Tasmat Gurum Prapadita Jigyashu Tamam Shabde Parichanishatam Brahmani Pashamashram. He has direct realization. Yeah, he's seen Krishna, he's seen the transcendental world. Yeah, this is a bona fide guru. So she asked, oh, how are the gopis, the color of their skin, how do they look? Are they like us? Or he said, very naturally. He wasn't like saying about the Shastra, you know, like what the Shastra says. He was saying, oh, no, they are a little bit like more like this, and they are more, but it's different from this color. They are more bright. And he was speaking very naturally like this, you know, like he was seeing this, you know, or like he saw this. So, and he was saying, oh, they are like this, they are like this. He was not speaking about the scriptures. At that time, he was speaking about his direct realization. The color, they are more bright, and the height, their height is like this. And he was describing, you know, very naturally. And then he just left, you know, he stopped and he left. So anyone who has been with Sripad Bhaktivedanta Maharaj and listen from him, we are very fortunate, you know, because we are being in touch by his mercy and by Srila Gurudev's mercy with someone who can give us bhakti. If we just accept this, he's giving all the time. If we just accept it, then we'll be the success is guaranteed, you know. Yeah. I'm thankful for you giving me this opportunity to speak something. Thank you very much, Leelanand Prabhu. It's like being there with you. I felt your love and affection, and speaking about Gurudev, Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj and Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, one in heart, one in soul, one in spirit, one in purpose, one in goal. And so he's just giving that dedication to us. And you're all very fortunate to be there. And please pay our obeisances to him and remember us tomorrow. And whenever you see him, a little bit of shower of mercy this way. Thank you very much, Leelanand Prabhu. Dandavat pranam.
Chandrika Didi will sing a
Chandrika Didi is going
kirtan.
to sing a short kirtan, and then we will ask Chitra Prabhu from South Africa. It's very funny you mentioned South Africa, because the person that was on the other side of the continent, he was pulling for Gurudev to come to South Africa, and Srila Gurudev Van Maharaj was giving the pull to come to Brazil, to Gurudev, and so we'll hear the two sides of the story from two different perspectives. With Gurudev one, Van Maharaj, he took Gurudev to Brazil, but he came to
Chandrika
South
Didi.
Africa also, so the reconciliation is there. Thank you very much. Chandrika Didi?
Okay. Is it okay to sing Shri Guru Charana Padma?
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, should I just sing it just all the way through without singing it twice? Okay. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhagavati Satma Bando Mui Savadana Mate Tasadeva Bhavatoya Jai Krishna Prati Hoy Jaha Hoy Te Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitati Koriya Ekya Arana Kari Homani Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Ese Uttamagati Jai Prasadi Pure Sava Asha Chakshudano Dilo Jai Janme Janme Prabhu Se Nitya Gyan Hide Prakashita Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite Avija Vinasha Jati Vedikai Jaha Racharita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Agama Janara Bandhu Lokanath Lokera Devana Ha Prabhu Karu Daya Deho Mare Pada Jaya Tume Pade Rayena Sharana Nirvijash Kushu Tipavana Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Thank you very much for that, Didi. We'll hear your offering a little bit later, but first we'll go off to Jamuna Didi, who will read the next passage of our Yasapuja offering.
Srila Rupa Gosvami Pad clearly explains that if we want to become Srimati Radhika's servants, especially under the guidance of Sri Rupa Manjari, it is necessary to practice real and immaculate devotional service to the Lord. Such service must be performed in the association of Vaishnavas who are very high class, always absorbed in the mood of Raj, and who have clean and pure hearts, free of all amarta.
Jai, thank you. This book, the Puja book, was produced in 2010, and in the Brazilian Vyasa Puja of Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj at his lotus feet. It's the offering of Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj's heart And Srila Gurudev Narayan Maharaj was very pleased by this offering, and he was one of the first books that he distributed to the devotees. So we're very happy to share that with you today. I'd like to introduce Achyuta Prabhu, Achyuta Krishnadas Prabhu from South Africa. If he's there, if you could unmute yourself and if you could turn on the video as well. Achyuta Prabhu. Haribol.
Hare
Hare Krishna, Jai. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavabhyo. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from South Africa. And we were very honored to be in your association and the association of the devotees there with Srila Maharaj. And you looked after us so very nicely and arranged programs like you did for Srila Gurudev Narayan Goswami Maharaj. You have a long history in Krishna consciousness and a lot of experience as well through ISKCON, coming through to our Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Gaudiya Vaishnava also. And we'd like to hear your Pushpanjali today on the appearance there of Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. I know you have great love and affection for him and all the devotees there also. Please share with us your realizations. Thank you. We have 15 minutes. So.
Okay. Thank you. Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Maum Vishnupadaya Radhikaya Priyatsmane Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Iti Namine. So first of all, I'd like to offer my Pushpanjali Sastanga Dandavat Pranam to Srila Gurudev, Nityalila Pravista Om Vishnupad, Astota Rasat Paramhamsa Tridandi Swami, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and then my Pushpanjali Dandavat Pranams to Srila Bhaktivedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, and to Param Gurudev, to all our Guru Varg, Rupanuga Guru Varg, and then also to Pujapad Srila Bhaktivedanta Van Goswami Maharaj. And then my Pushpanjali Dandavat Pranam to all the Vaishnavas assembled here. So thank you for having me. And so I'm actually very unqualified to speak about Vaishnavas and such great Vaishnavas. I do not have any spiritual qualifications, but somehow by the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudev, our Gurudev, and the Vaishnavas, and our Srila Gurudev sannyasis, so they somehow I'm praying to the lotus feet for some drop of mercy and for some seva, and I hope that one day by their mercy and being in their association, I can have this mercy and even to do a little bit of seva. So the Prabhu mentioned about South Africa, and there was some compromise, and so Srila Gurudev first came to South Africa, Mauritius, South Africa in 2010 in January, and then after a week or so, then he flew to Brazil for his Vyasa Puja, and then returned to Johannesburg. So technically, Srila Gurudev, he came twice to South Africa in the same year. So my association with Pujapad Van Maharaj, when I came to Srila Gurudev's 2006, 2007, I didn't know much. I didn't knew Sajjan Maharaj at that time, and because he was the first sannyasi at that time to come to South Africa. So I met Pujapad Van Maharaj one day in Kartik 2007, and program had finished at the Gopinath Bhavan in the evening. And one thing that actually was remarkable about Pujapad Van Maharaj was this. He waited to serve all the Vaishnavas present there. It was Karthik. And then the end, after everybody was fed, then he took his prasadam. And this struck me. There's a sannyasi. I hadn't seen, I was in ISKCON, but I haven't seen such humility, such seva, because he was an acharya, a guru, spiritual master is one who teaches by example. And here we have, and I'm just coming from ISKCON, but I haven't seen this because the sannyasis they're always they wait to be served. This is not a criticism in any way, but this is what my experience there has. This is what I've seen personally. But yeah, I'm seeing as a sannyasi, he's and I haven't even heard from his lotus lips at that time any harikatha, and so I just said this is sannyasi he's showing such humility. So after the program, then he was walking back to Rup Sanatan Gaudiya Math. He was staying there at the for the duration of the parikrama in Vrindavan. So I went and I introduced myself to Maharaj and I told him where I'm from. Then he says, okay, walk with me. And then we started walking. It was in the evening, and it's the first time I've been to Gurudev Sangha. So I didn't even know where we were going. We were walking from Gopinath Bhavan, and because the Rup Sanatan is not far from the Gopinath Bhavan. So I just walked with Maharaj, and he was asking who I am, where I'm from, and I told him, and I invited him. I think he should come because we're trying to make a platform for Gurudev to come to South Africa. So he walked. He just walked. He spoke with me, getting to know me. Then we got into his room where he was staying in Rup Sanatan. Then he took out his book and his pen, and then he wrote down all my details, contact emails, and then he says, yes, I will come. You arrange? Then I can come, no problem. So we arranged, and then Van Maharaj came 2008. And that year we arranged a Ratha Yatra in Pietermaritzburg. And we also invited Purandar Prabhu from Jagannath Puri. So, because he used to travel with Van Maharaj. And so Van Maharaj came 2008 and we built a chariot and we had this festival. I didn't know at that time that actually Van Maharaj very much, he likes to travel around the world for this chariot festival. He very much likes this festival. And we had this festival, he came and I got to know him, and then he started, we started listening to his Harikatha. And, only purity can attract someone. If somebody is pure in heart, then naturally you get attracted by that person. And especially when the person is preaching spiritual topics. And I haven't heard Harikatha like that, And being Gaudiya Vaishnavas or trying to be Gaudiya Vaishnavas, it's so important to understand our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. The tattva and the siddhanta of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. Because this actually is the real backbone of understanding. If we do not have this understanding of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, then everything else just falls back, on its head. And, and a person wouldn't make much advancement in Krishna consciousness. And one of the things that struck me about Van Maharaj is that his depth of realization and understanding of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. He can extract anything out and he can give the explanation, like how Srila Gurudev. And then I understood that, from a young age, Pujapad Van Maharaj was staying with Srila Gurudev in Mathura Math. And even Pujapad Van Maharaj was saying that how much Srila Gurudev was giving them 3 times Harikatha, morning, midday, and evening. And they had to learn verses. And if they did not learn the verses, then Gurudev wouldn't have given them prasadam. And Pujyapat Vana Maharaj was mentioning once that he still got the notes. There are some things that Gurudev was speaking to them that he still got the notes kept in Mathura. Not sure whether he took it now, but he was saying that he got those notes from those early days when Gurudev was giving those lectures. So this is the thing that struck me about Vana Maharaj. And, so, it showed to me that that the time that they were spending with Srila Gurudev, and Gurudev really imparted all these deep knowledge of our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy, Tattva, Siddhanta, and the pastimes of Radha and Krishna into their hearts, and it stayed over there. So for me, the first Vaishnava that I interacted with on this level of Harikatha, I could see that he's a manifestation of our Srila Gurudev. Definitely, to me in my mind, there is no doubt about that. That Vana Maharaj is a manifestation of our Srila Gurudev, 100% guaranteed. And so many devotees even in South Africa have recognized and realized this. So, from that time, those early 2008, I personally have had a deep connection with Vana Maharaj, and he's guided me a lot. He's come maybe 4 times to South Africa, and in those times that he came, he stayed with me. He stayed at my home, and early morning Mangal Aarti, morning program, Harikatha, and if you know Vana Maharaj, he's not a person to get involved in politics, not a person to get involved in management. His main thing is Harikatha, chanting the holy names and serving. So I learned, well, I still got a long way, to learn how to serve Vaishnavas. And the only way I can actually, playing the lotus feet to get firstly his humility, his humility is something else, and you don't hear any complaints from Maharaj. You don't hear any complaints. So Pujyapat Vana Maharaj, he's for all the reasons what I've stated about his knowledge of Tattva, Siddhanta, and his humility and his Harikatha, his sweet Harikatha. So Srila Gurudev even mentioned, our Gurudev mentions that I will send Vaishnavas like Pujyapat Vana Maharaj to South Africa. And
5 minutes.
By Srila Gurudev's mercy, time is up?
No, 5 more minutes.
So 5 more minutes, yeah. So by Srila Gurudev's causeless mercy, he's been sending all these Vaishnavas, and especially Pujya Vana Maharaj. And I have, when Srila Gurudev left, we all went into such sorrow and missing Srila Gurudev. And then, Vaishnavas like Pujyapat Vana Maharaj come, and then you realize that, actually Srila Gurudev is right here. He's speaking through them. This is his manifestation. And as other devotees were mentioning that Leelananda Prabhu was mentioning just now, that when the devotee asked him about how the manjaris are, and Pujyapat Vana Maharaj, he never quote, okay, from Shastra, this is what it is saying, but he gave a description based on his realization. And from this we can understand that Maharaj is not an ordinary soul. He's a realized soul. He's a pure Vaishnava, And I think one time Maharaj said there wasn't a time when he ever committed any sinful activity in his life, So we are fortunate actually that we have this great opportunity, this great opportunity to associate. And I personally came very late to Srila Gurudev. I never had an opportunity to associate with our Srila Gurudev in the early days, And, it was only like about 2006, or 4 or 5 years that I had an opportunity to be with Srila Gurudev. But now, to actually understand, understand our Srila, or try just to get into, get an understanding, although you can never really understand. I think Srila Gurudev mentioned that how deep is the ocean? We don't know how deep the ocean is. So Vaishnavas, we don't know how deep the Vaishnavas is. But all we can do is pray, and we can get drops and that they can sprinkle this this knowledge and give us the glories of our Gurudevs. So I'm fortunate, and I think the whole world is fortunate that we have such a great personality in our midst. And now it is Pujapad Van Maharaj's his appearance day, and I would like to offer my Sastanga Pushpanjali Dandavat Pranam to his lotus feet, and pray his mercy, that he can always be merciful to me. He's always merciful to me. Pujapad Van Maharaj is always, and I remember a time in there was some difficulty in my life, and I went to this thing to Govardhan. It was a parikram, and my health wasn't too good at that time. This is the flu I had, and the first thing when Van Maharaj saw my condition, he says, "Have you taken medication?" He says, "You take medication and rest." And then when the first time he saw me, I bowed down to him, and then he embraced me, and when he embraced me, I felt, we're all looking for love in this world. We all look for love, because love is a common denominator, and this is the thing that's missing in the world is love. That is why there's so much of wars, so much of fights in the world, in the countries and nations and families, because there's a lack of love. But Van Maharaj, he every time he sees me, I think he's the only sannyasi that when he sees me, he hugs me. And that to me, as I said, we're all looking for love, and it shows me, he's giving me that fatherly love, and I always appreciate that. Not appreciate it, but he warms my heart, because he has a great personality, a great Vaishnava. He's hugging an idiot like me, a fool like me, and this is his mercy. And I'm always praying that, that I can actually do more seva to his lotus feet. And I'm praying, now with this pandemic in this country, I would really have loved to have Van Maharaj organize the chariot festival again. But, until all these things settle down, and I'm praying every day that we can at least get his mercy, again. So, yeah, time is running short, but
Thank you.
There's so much we can't actually stop glorifying the Vaishnava. We can't. There's no So in our own way, we will always think of Maharaj, and then we listen from all the Vaishnavas that are giving. So thank you very much. And thank you so much. Vancha Kalpatarubhya. Thank you. And so how long tomorrow as well? You will have program.
And we'll have program tomorrow. Maharaj will come and speak at UK time about 12:30, and Umadidi will speak at about 10:30. Before that, we have also Uttam Prabhu and Savita Didi will come on and speak something about Sripad Maharaj. So we have glorifications for a few more days. And if there's more, we're thinking of even extending the program. So please keep joining us. Please pass on the link to other.
Yes, I've done.
To Rajan Prabhu and the family, to also their associates. I forget their names,
Yes.
Please forgive me. But we're very much honored to have your association and presence. Thank you very
Likewise.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Absolutely right about Sripad Maharaj's character. Him taking prasad after everyone else takes is still his characteristics now. I remember just prasad waiting for him while he goes and checks, and he asked me to go and check if everyone has taken prasad first, or if they've started to take prasad, then he will take only, and afterwards. So his character is like we have the expression book Bhagavatam and the person Bhagavatam. So you're very correct in that description of him. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. So I'd like to invite next Chandrika Didi to say a few words, and Jumuna would like to read the next part of the Vyas Puja book.
So the next part describes how Srila Rupa Gosvami prays at the lotus feet of Srimati Radhika. Adevika kubaragad gadaya vacha yache nipatya buddhidanda vadud bhatarti asya prasadam abudasya janasya kritva gandharvike tavagana gananam videhi. O Devi Gandharvike, in utter desperation, I throw myself on the ground like a stick, and with choked voice, humbly implore you to please be merciful to this fool and count me as one of your own. Shri Gandharva Sampranarthastakam.
Thank you very much. Just offer our obeisances. Vanchakalpa Jabhyascha Kripasindhu Vyascha Pratitanam Bhavyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha. Chandrika Didi's very darling daughter of Srila Bhaktivedanta Maharaj. She took Harinam for Shrikalila Vaishnava Vishnupada Sutta Shri Srimad Bhakti Gyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and she's continuing her spiritual journey by taking shelter and diksha from Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj. And she's in the UK and also serves by editing and checking any lectures, classes, and transcribing Srila Maharaj's classes. And very dedicated and looking after her husband Jagannath Prabhu, whom we offer our pranams to, who's I think met Srila Swami Maharaj, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah,
No, he took initiation by letter from Srila Swami Maharaj.
That is
Meeting him.
in the transcendental process of things. So you're very fortunate. Thank you very much for sharing with us today your Pushpanjali. Thank you.
Thank you. Om Gyana Timurandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. I'd like to first of all begin by offering my Dandavat pranams millions of times to the lotus feet of my Harinam Guru. Can I just sing their pranam mantras? Shri Krishna Chaitanya Kripeka Vita Yamaryada Rakshiti Vaishnavanam Kripa Valang Vatha Prashtokami Shri Bhaktiram Bharatim Ashrayamaha Namaram Vishnupadaya Gora Prashtaya Bhute Srimate Bhaktivedanta Bhavaniti Namine Vandeham Bhakti Chakora Goranga Nija Prashchitam Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Pranam Namastivyam Shri Radhaika Nishtitam Rasayana Katamitam Sankirtanam Anandaram Gosvaminam Vanam Namaha. So my unlimited Dandavat pranams to my Harinam Guru, Nishila Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and my Diksha Guru, on Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, and to Nishila Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhakti Madhava Goswami Maharaj, and to Nishila Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Vana Goswami Maharaj, and to Nishila Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and to Nishila Vishnupada Stotrishatha, Shri Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, and to all our Guru Vag, and to all my dear God brothers and God sisters here today, and my heartfelt thanks to Kunjeshwari Didi for asking me to speak something on our dear Gurudev on his Vyasa Puja Eve, and sorry, I'm very nervous, and and also my deepest loving thanks to Jamuna and Lanka I can't say in my heart how much these two Vaishnavas mean to me. I think Mother Prabhu said earlier that that we feel so much closer to them because I think I took shelter of them actually before I came to Gurudev. So I'll just say how I came to Gurudev briefly. I actually, my husband and I, we actually were Kamala Didi, who in Brighton actually was sending us deities when we were living in Cornwall. And myself personally, I was in the utter Maya completely. I've been, as Gurudev would say, a complete nonsense rascal in this life. And so Kamala very sweetly was helping us. She was sending us deities. She was sending us so many beautiful books. And at that time, I was the same as Ananga Mahaprabhu in Mexico. I had some poison in my heart with the Sripad Gosvami Maharaj, how I was feeling. So when I was receiving some of the books, I was kind of, oh, that's nice, and just putting them in the shelf. And I was not interested in looking at them at all. But somehow or other, it seemed that many of Sripad Gosvami Maharaj's disciples were coming into I'll say my life because I don't want to speak for my husband, but to my life. And we moved to Brighton, and one dear devotee, I was aspiring for one Vaishnav, and she instructed me that she wanted me to take initiation from Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj. So I was praying about that, and she told me all the reasons why I should be doing this. So she said that she would speak to him, speak to his sevaks and see if it could be arranged. And out of his causeless mercy, he agreed to give me Harinam, and so he gave me Harinam over Skype. And it was a very, very beautiful experience, even though up until actually meeting him, I was just in this horrible angry mood. So my memories now are really beautiful, but then I was very upset that I was so angry beforehand, and I didn't want to go, and I was fighting, and even though I was getting ready, I didn't want to go. I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore. I'm upset. How can I go and take Harinam, Anyway, so somehow or other, I felt like I've been picked up by my ear and brought to the lotus feet. So then Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj, he left very soon afterwards. He left our eternal vision, our material vision, 17 days after I took Harinam. And then, Jamina will probably remember this more than I will. I think I just kind of took shelter of you both. I think I would climb your stairs and I'm going to see Jamuna and Ango. It's just like it became my life coming to see them. And then I think you were inviting me to go. Oh, it says, sorry, I forgot. Just when how I met Gurudev. That's right. Sorry. So come and invite us up to London because Gurudev was going to be there. And I think at that time, I'd already realised my terrible Vaishnava aparad, and I think it was by then. My memory's really bad. I think I had prayed at the lotus feet of Sripad Goswami Maharaj to ask me for forgiveness, and I know that in these sort of Kanishta stages, our prayers aren't very powerful, but I felt like he had forgiven me. So, but when we went to London again before, because we got lost because it wasn't at the Ganga Matas, it was at the Ganga Matas hired a hall. So we got really, really lost. So of course I was really in a foul mood again. Of course we went to this class and I just hid at the back, and then Kamala came in and she was just glowing. She'd driven with Gurudev in the car, and she was all sweetness and love, loveliness like she always is. And then Gurudev came in, and I just, everyone was just like, offering their Dandavat Pranam, so I just kind of like copied. It's the first time I'd ever met sadhu, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know anything. And so I just, sort of offer pranam on the floor, and then I don't remember anything about the class or anything. And this must have been about, this is before 2015, so maybe sort of 2013, 2014. I don't remember, but so it's I don't remember very much about the class, but I do remember that throughout the whole class, I just stared at him. I just stared at him and stared at him and stared at him. Like I remember him going like this, looking around, because he must have known I was just staring at him. And he'd look away. just stared. I didn't realise what I was like. Oh my gosh! I just stared at him for the whole time. But so I don't know if he remembers that. He probably does, but I don't know if he remembers it was me. He probably does, obviously. And then so some years passed, and I took Harinam in 2017. And then Gurudev was coming to Brighton in 2018, and Jamuna was asking me to, if I'd help like with the preparations, like go to Mohini's and be there, help Mohini cook, because he was coming to Mohini's first, Mohini Didi, and just just helping us to sort of giving instructions and things. And I remember being like really, really excited that he was coming, and so we were both sort of like little girls looking at the window, like, is he coming? Is he coming? Is he coming? It was really, really sweet. And so Gurudev came, and then I don't know if it was that time. I can't remember. Maybe I can't remember, because Gurudev came quite a few times. I think a couple of times to London and Brighton. And but I just got a memory of being in Tetanidi's house, Tetanidi's daughter's house, and I was actually arranging for my husband to take Diksha from Gurudev, and then Jamuna was just in the kitchen, and she just said to me, you're quite attracted to Gurudev. Do you also want to take Diksha mantras? And I was just like, wow, really? And I was just blown away, and I said, yeah, please. And I had no idea what Diksha meant or anything like that, but I was just like, wow, this sounds like amazing. So she said, okay. So she went to speak to Gurudev, and then I was just, my heart was just like beating really, really fast, and then she said, okay, Gurudev has agreed to give you Diksha mantras. I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And then and I just remember the three of us were in the room, and he was giving me Diksha, and it was very, very sweet. And then but afterwards I was just sort of like, I was thinking like, well, what do I do now? I didn't know what, but through Jamuna and Nanga's like loving guidance, they just always sort of keeping me on top of everything, because I'm complete ahead and bombarding them with questions and everything, and just their sweetness and their patience. It just shows, this is what made me sort of feel like with Gurudev, that all his disciples, they're all so loving and sweet and caring, and he, they're a beautiful, reflection of who he is, and he's a beautiful reflection of who Param Gurudev is, and so they're just a few sort of couple of stories. The first time I went to Parikrama in Vrindavan, and Jamuna and Nanga came the second week, and they were taking really good care of me in the second week in Govardhan. We've got 5 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And this is my first experience of something beautiful and transcendental, and some real experience of knowing that Gurudev is transcendental. And so it was a Vrindavan, I think it was Vrindavan Parikrama, and so it was a Kadashi, I think it was. And my health isn't so good, so I'm pretty sort of slow on my feet. And so everybody had gone ahead, and I was still following. I think I was going around the marg, and I can remember this one devotee who was really, really, really tall. I thought if I just keep seeing him and following him, because I knew he was doing a parikrama as well, then I'll be right. So I had no idea where I was at all. So I just started walking along, and then suddenly I just heard Gurudev saying, "How are you, okay?" And I said, "Yes, Gurudev, I'm okay." He said, "Okay." And I just thought, oh my gosh, you know, and that was tangible. I didn't see him, but I heard him. He come and ask me, you know, because this was hours. I know it took me about sort of, I don't know, I was, you know, hours and hours behind everybody. But I just know that he came to ask me if I was, you know, if I was okay, and it was really, really sweet. And it made me realize, you know, this is something that's far and above and beyond anything in this, you know, we cannot imagine. And so Gurudev's sweetness is, how to explain? He's just, for me, he's sweetness personified. He's Madhura personified. He's just that's who he is. And you know, our god sister and Radha Didi, you know, he's when we were sort of because we sort of came at more or less at sort of like same time to his lotus feet. And he would always ask either one of us, you know, where's the other one? If we were traveling, you know, where's Anuradha? And then he'd ask me, you know, he'd ask Anuradha, where's Chandrika? He's just making sure that we always sort of like, you know, try and travel together, you know, to see him and stuff. And so when we speak about him, you know, we feel very, very close to him. And there's one little very sweet story, another little sweet thing that I saw. Just show you. I got finishing now. Okay. So there was one time when Gurudev was I can't remember where we were. There's so many things to say, but time's so short. And he was and he had a book in front of him. And at the end of the class, I remember he just took one of the petals from the flowers and he just put it in the book and closed the book. And I just thought, my God, that's just the sweetest thing I've ever seen. You know, we use like bookmarks and whatever. I just thought the way he did it was just so sweet. So that was yeah, I'd say there's just many stories of him, many beautiful stories to share. So thank you so much. Thank you for letting me speak and purify my tongue, I hope. And I pray also for Gurudev's lotus feet that you will always keep me there, always keep me there and never forget me and always keep me with him. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Chandrika Didi, for sharing that with us. And I was just remembering how in Govardhan you were sitting at the back and how he insisted that you sit in front. And then you came a little bit in front and he wasn't happy that he asked you to sit even further closer. And you were taking notes quite attentively and he was very pleased with that. And he's very pleased with your questions and your inquisitiveness to know more and more and to clarify things. And, you know, you should keep that going. And that develops a relationship with Gurudev. He likes that. Tadvivi pranipatena pariprashyena sevaya upadekshyanti gnanam gnaninas tattva darshanam. So by inquiring submissively and rendering service in this way, the self-realized soul can impart knowledge into you and show you the path and the light and the truth. So thank you very much for sharing. Hare Krishna. So we have one last speaker, Ananda Pradhani Didi, all the way from Russia. I don't know what time it is there. Is it gone past midnight yet?
No, that's okay. Like 20 minutes before 10 p.m. Okay.
It's not too late. Not past your bedtime yet. So just read a little bit more. Jamuna Didi, would you like to share? And then...
Without Srimati Radhika accepting us into her family, we will not be able to be part of her camp. We must beg, oh Srimati Radhika, please, Baram, accept me in your camp. Give me permission to enter your own family of confidential associates. Who knows this verse? Said Maharaj. We should read it because within this shloka it is explained how to become a member of Srimati Radhika's group. Nija Gane means accept me in your own group. Videhi means Srimati Radhika will think, oh, she belongs to me. This verse also means that the moment Gurudev accepts us as a member of his group, of his own family, all auspicious things will automatically manifest in our heart. We should always remember this shloka as they are very important.
So Ananda Pradhani, to introduce you would be very difficult because you're again very close to Gurudev and very prominent in front
Organize so many programs in Russia.
Of his service, like in India also. but also in Russia, you organize many programs, and you're always bringing so many flowers to his lotus feet, and he's very happy with that. And also all the paintings that you do for him and his books, and that personal interaction. I remember Shamarani did his communication with Srila Prabhupada, and also with Srila Gurudev, and how they used to exchange questions and answers like you're doing now with Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, your beloved Gurudev. So he's very pleased with this service, and your paintings are always so amazing, beautiful windows into the spiritual world as Srila Gurudev sees them. So this is very nice, and we wish we can get some of that mercy as well to serve him in that very nice way. Thank you for joining us today, and please, if you would like to make your offering, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Magyan Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakaltarubhyasya Kripasindhubheva Cham Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. First of all, I pay my humble, respectful obeisances to lotus feet of my Shila Gurudev, Om Vishnupata Ashtotarashat Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Shila Vana Gosvami Maharaja, and to lotus feet of my dear Param Gurudevas, Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupata Ashtotarashat Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Shila Vamana Gosvami Maharaja, and Nitya Lila Pravishna Vishnupata Ashtotarashat Shishimad Bhaktivedanta Shila Narayan Gosvami Maharaja, all Rupanuga Guru Varga, all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, senior devotees, and all my respectful God brothers and sisters, please accept my humble obeisances. And thank you so much for organizing this sweetest Utsav festival of this beautiful glorification of Srila Gurudev. And I'm feeling myself like drowning in the ocean almost 1 week from the 1st of January, like ocean of sweetness. And every day this Utsav, and also we had on 2nd of January a celebration in Moscow. Senior devotees also glorified Gurudeva, some special stories, and it's like unlimited. And I'm feeling myself a little bit, always like a little bit intoxicated, like every day so happy. And it's really a great beginning of this 2021. I heard that all astrologers, they telling that, oh, it's terrible year like this, but it opened like this, and I think it will be greatest year. So each year it's more and more sweet, and you never know, like with Vaishnavas, it's like always extreme, like always something wonderful. You never know what will be tomorrow, and this glorification is like you want to drown and just not going out from this ocean. And sorry for my English, it's not so good, but I hope you understand what I want to express.
Your English is wonderful, thank you.
And thank you so much to Kunjeshwari Diti to organize all these things. It's so like first we were thinking like maybe 1 or 2 programs, and now it's like so many almost every day. And tomorrow even Uma Didi, Savita Didi, Uttam Prabhuji will speak. So it's like wow, thank you so much. And also for Nagamohan Prabhuji, Yamuna Didi, so nice nourishing all these programs. And to all God brothers and sisters, like all your offerings like jewels, like it's just my ears just relishing. As I heard from, now I'm little by little reading the book of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Gopi Gita with the commentaries, also like amazing book. And I heard that when Rajavasis, they hear sound of flute of Krishna, they're not listening, they eating it. It's like a Dharamrita of Krishna, like they relish and eat. And I was thinking, wow. When sometimes when I hear what I like of course Gurudev's glories, I also feel like devotees feeding me now, feeding my soul. Yeah, and first when I was thinking maybe like what to speak, I was thinking, oh, I have to speak some Tattva Siddhanta because it's good, like Gurudev always like start
I know Nanda Pradayani's internet sometimes goes
Yeah,
off. Okay.
all program it was okay, but when I started, I knew it would be like this. Maybe Gurudev was joking with me like this. Maybe I'm saying something wrong, stopping me. So, also I was thinking maybe to speak about Gurudeva's pranam mantras, like some explanation how I understand what I heard about this, and now I understand that I completely not qualified, so no need. And I want to share some of my personal experience, some small stories with Gurudev. And first, actually, I attracted by the name of my Shila Gurudev. Like it was almost 10 years ago, Guru Purnima, 2011. And I was completely new. I didn't know anything. It was just program. I didn't even know that it was Guru Purnima. I did Abhishek, everything, but just now I can understand that it was Guru Purnima. I didn't know who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like almost nothing. But when we took prasad, one old Mataji, one Didi nearby me, she told, like speaking with someone, oh, like soon Bon Maharaj is coming, like Sripad Bon Maharaj coming. And I just like, Bon Maharaj? Like every year, Gurudev is coming usually in Russia after Gaur Purnim. And that time, I was studying art. And as always, artists, they want to go to France, it's capital of artists. And I was thinking, oh, I want to go to France and live there. And I wanted to study French language also, but not successful. But I knew only one word. It was bon. And I was thinking, oh, it means good Maharaj. But some voice in my heart told me like this Maharaj, he will be your guru. I don't know why, like just this name. And Gurudeva came maybe after 1 or 2 weeks after this. And actually, I'm pagal now. I'm thinking that I understood that it will be my guru. But before Gurudeva's coming, I didn't open internet, didn't listen his katha, didn't see even how he looks like. I just heard this name and it was enough. I don't know why. And some devotees also told that it's so nice. Senior Vaishya Gurudeva's Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj disciple. He's very qualified. So I was waiting for him. And at last, Srila Gurudeva came. It was in Moscow center, like our small temple, Bhaktivedanta Gaudiya Math, very small, I don't know, like a few meters actually. And now it's still going, programs are there. Very dear place for me. And I was waiting for Gurudev. And the Gurudeva came. And actually, before I saw only a picture of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I don't know why, I was thinking that Gurudeva should be similar to him. Like blue eyes, light skin, like tall. And Gurudeva, like Bengali Vaishnava, beautiful also, but a little bit different. But anyhow, I was not upset. Just this thought came in my mind. And Gurudeva sat there, sat on speaking Harikatha, and he started. First, his translator, Sripad Sadhu Maharaj, spoke something, and during this time, Gurudeva was watching everybody. Like Gurudeva, usually he smiles, like this big smile, everything. But that time, Gurudeva was so serious, and watching everybody like scanner, like to one by one. And I was in the last, did this part on the last, but no, close by, but some aside part. And Gurudeva watched at me very seriously, like no smile, nothing. But and I felt that Gurudeva, he knows about me everything. Oh my God, like he seen me first time, but like scanner. Like I heard also glance of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, like all disciples, they also same experience. And I feel that actually Gurudeva, he knows about me even more what I know about me. Like everything, my nature, my svarupa, like everything. And he will reveal me how to achieve my goal, like what is my goal, everything. and I felt also so much love. Even Gurudeva seriously was looking, but it was like I never experienced this feeling before. It was so much like this person looking at me at first time, but I feel that he knows me like my dear friend. Like he knows everything about me, and he loves me. How I am like like accepting me everything, and this such pure love without any impurities, any these things like what is in our material world. And I was expressed really. And Gurudeva started Harikatha, and first things what he started to speak is this. It was like this, like, don't look at Vaishnava like on this body. He's not color of the skin. He's not this size, everything. Vaishnava, he's like his Vaishnavata. Like his bhakti, it's not this outside things, it's everything inside. And I was expressed, wow, Gurudev, he even like listened my mind, like what I was thinking. And on the next day, I like in the evening, devotees told that I want to take Harinam. Gurudev told okay. And on the next day, like all night, I was not sleeping. I was so much like so many emotional. And in the night time, I went to some shop because it was late after evening program. I found some fruits. I bought a plate, like this for initiation. And on the next day, I was going to program with big smile. I could not hide this, like like Jagannath. I don't know. I could not. And all people who was looking at me, like outside on the street, everybody was looking at me, and also started to smile because I was so happy. And I was going with this plate like this and this smile. So, it was so funny. I don't know. And I came, and like after morning program, Gurudeva gave Harinam, everything. I was very happy. And in the middle between two morning and evening program, I went to my studies because I could not, I have to go. I had to go. So I went, and I was very happy. And one my teacher, he told me, oh, are you in love? Like this, like he was like, everybody noticed that so much like happiness. And I don't know why during the day I felt some feeling that, oh my God, he is the first Vaishnava which whom I see. Maybe I had to see some other Vaishnavas and choose. Like maybe I did mistake because who knows? Maybe he's not my. I don't know. This stupid how to say.
The mind.
Like this feeling came in me. Doubts, yes, these doubts. Thank you. And I was thinking like what to do. And gradually in the evening, more late, I was like in the morning, I was like shining sun, like so happy. But in the evening, I was like sad, and more like in depression. I don't know, my stupid mind. And my mind was telling me, do you know it is for all your life? Like, why you didn't choose? Like, you didn't choose anyone, didn't see anyone else. So I came to a program, and it was most amazing program like in my life. But I was sitting like a piece of wood or stone. I didn't hear what Gurudev was telling me, and this doubts was in my mind, like stools. I don't know. And I was thinking like what to do. But in the end of Katha, Gurudeva started to speak the story about Gopakumar, and it was time. Like only 1 or 2 months after disappearance of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, and all devotees, mostly our Sangha at that time, the disciples of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And Gurudeva, anyhow, he was nourishing, helping at actually this 2011 Russian tour, maybe you can find in YouTube. It's really all tours so high, like really amazing Katha, like very high topics, like maybe to help to to disciples of Srila Narayan Goswami Maharaj, like helping them, pacify them, and Gurudeva started to speak this Katha, and this part when Gopakumar, he took initiation, and he went, and his guru Jayanta, he fell down, and this foam came and he was thinking, oh my God, what to do? And he went to take the water and sprinkle on his guru's, like refresh his guru's face. And when he came, his guru was not there. And Gopa Kumar, like, he started to cry and and search all kunjas on the bank of Yamuna and like crying like, where is my guru? Where is my guru? And Gurudeva started to speak in such a manner, like all audience, everybody was crying and bitterly. And Gurudeva could not speak even. He like, where is my guru? Where is my guru? And his like voice choked. And Katha stopped, like Gurudeva, like he was crying like a child, like nobody, and all devotees there also crying, and I was crying, and it was like I never saw Shilnarayan Goswami Maharaj. I don't know what is the relationship with the Guru, but Gurudeva gave to everybody his feeling of his separation, even for me, like stone heart animal, I don't know. And I was sitting there and I started crying. And Arati started, everybody like, but I was just sitting there and I didn't know what is like, I was crying all evening in metro, like when I went home, all night. And I don't know, I think Gurudeva, he did something with my heart in that evening, because in the morning, like next day, I was completely another person. I felt that Gurudeva, he like broke some big stones in my heart, and I was looking on Gurudeva like he's my everything, like he who like he is who will liberate me, like he's my mother, he's everything, he's my ever well wisher. How could I think like yesterday about this, like these doubts, and completely different. And also I have some time. What? Sorry.
2 more minutes.
More?
2 minutes.
2. Okay. So, and this story, like I think all Russian devotees know, I'm speaking always. No, like when Gurudev's Vyasa Puja, I like so much, and like next one, third one. 2013, Gurudeva went to Altai Festival, and Altai Mountains, it's like Russian Himalayas, like really like powerful place, very beautiful, like amazing. It was autumn, like just before Kartik, and it was sunny and nice nature, and we had a nice mountain river, like a Ganges, like Gurudeva was walking there, and every day Harikatha, it was amazing. And Gurudeva gave also some midday classes there, like in the morning and in the evening. We had with many Vaishnavas, and like in India. And daytime, Gurudeva had like about 1 hour his private classes. And during this one class, like it was small space, and we were sitting like very close to Gurudev, and I was like in the first line, and Gurudeva was sitting, and some table, and me, like maybe 1 meter or no, like this, very close to Gurudev. And Gurudeva, he was in the sofa, like like in some asana, and I was, of course, in the floor. And just in front of my eyes, Gurudeva was speaking Harikatha, and just in front of my eyes, I saw Gurudeva's hands, like this. He was speaking, and I just in front, and I was watching Gurudeva's hands, and I don't know why. I was looking, and I was thinking, oh my God, it's not like ordinary skin. It's, like you're looking and you can understand what material is made of. But Gurudeva's hands, his skin, I was like, what is this? I don't know why. And I observed in this, and I was not listening Harikatha. And Gurudeva, maybe he noticed this, and he was just like, and I was completely in trance, like watching Gurudeva's hands. And Gurudeva, like during his Harikatha, he asked the question and looked at me like, what is this? And maybe it was a question, no, of course it was a question about the class, and I was not listening at that moment. And what is this? And looking at me, and I'm like, what is this, Gurudev? And Gurudev, because I was observing Gurudeva's hands, and Gurudev told like which material, and I was thinking, and Gurudeva answered, Sat Chit Ananda. And I was like, oh my God, like Yeah, sure. Why I was thinking, what is this? Like a body of a great Vaishnava, like it is spiritual. And the last thing about Gurudeva's name, like Bon Maharaj, but Gurudeva likes more Vana, I think. No, it's the same, like Bon Vana. And I remember like one time devotees in India, they asked like, oh, Gurudev, what does it mean, your name? And Gurudev told, oh, like Vana, it's a forest. It's a forest where lives Krishna, Radharani, gopis, gopas, cows, birds, deers, cuckoos, like many like beautiful like entities, like full of flowers, nice fragrance. Jamuna River is there, and it means Vana, and everybody was like amazed, like, oh my God, like Gurudeva, he's explaining his heart, like what is he, because the sannyasa name is not just like okay, you will, it's also meaningful. So our Gurudev is embodiment of transcendental Vrindavana, and I hope like one day I will realize his glory.
Thank you very much, Ananda Pradayini Didi, for that lovely illustration of Srila Gurudev and his nature, his Satchidananda nature. And through your eyes and through your vision of him, bringing him closer to us and sharing your heart with that. It's a very nice offering. Thank you very much. Thank you everybody for joining us today, and we hope to be with you again tomorrow and possibly the day after. I'm not sure.
The day after is Narayan Gosvami Maharaj.
Disappearance Day festival, so there will be many programs on Zoom as well.
What time tomorrow, Kunjashwari Didi?
Actually, I still need to calculate the timing and send to everyone according to their country, but it's 4 p.m. Indian time starting actually, but we will start, I think, 15 minutes before for the kirtan, isn't it?
Okay. Yes.
So still, I think we will announce, and also what is the timing in each country.
Okay. So we remind everybody that tomorrow we will have Srila Gurudev himself, who will come to bless us with his Harikatha after hearing from the lotus feet of Srimati Uma Didi, Srimati Savita Didi, and Shriman Uttam Prabhu. And maybe we will have some more speaker between, depending on the time, isn't it, Kunjashwari Didi? But tomorrow is the day, the Vyasa Puja of Srila Gurudev, the actual Tithi.
Yes, like tomorrow is very special, the Zoom program. So please everyone join, because really, really interesting to hear.
What time is it tomorrow?
It's Indian time, 4 p.m. Indian time. So we are 5.5 hours behind India at the moment. So if you're in UK, it's 5.5 hours behind 4 p.m.
10:30.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, is there going to be a list of the times per time zone on the link?
Yes, we will send the link. Yes.
And just to announce, if you don't mind, we actually have an in-person program in London. If anybody is in London, we have a disappearance festival for Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaji, my Gurudev, on Thursday in person and also on Zoom. So it's going to be like a hybrid festival. Srimati Shamrani Devi will be speaking, and Pujapad Nemi Maharaj will be speaking at the program himself as well, which will also be streamed live. So we get to hear from both of those people. If people would like to come along, if they're in London, you can actually come in person and meet a Prabhupada disciple. So
yeah,
if
can you tell us the location details of that?
We can send it on the link.
Ananga Mohan Prabhu, can you do that to anybody who's in London that might want to come? Because you have all the details.
Sure.
You have to keep it low key because of the but we're still going ahead, and we're doing Harinam every Saturday. in London. Today. Please come if you're in London. And even if you're not, if you can make it, it'd be lovely to see you all. Thank you, really good. And Yamuna Angamahan, it's so nice to see you. Dandavat Pranam. Really, more often. And I'm really looking forward to tomorrow. So that's 4:00 in the morning for us?
No, 4 o'clock. No, it'll be about 10 a.m. for us. We will start the program about 10 a.m. approximately.
Morning?
UK time.
In the morning, tomorrow morning?
Yes, yeah, tomorrow morning. So we'll see you soon. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for all your wonderful offerings. And pray to Gurudev that he continues to bless us and shower his mercy upon us. And so we may be able to share more and more of his glories and to realize them also. Thank you very much.
Thanks again to Kunjeshwari Didi for her beautiful initiative. By her inspiration, Srila Gurudev inspired her in her heart to invite all of us to be part of this beautiful offering. And everybody spoke so beautifully, and this is all enhancing and showing really the glories of Srila Gurudev, and we all have benefited so much to hear from all of you. It was real nectar, like Ananda Pradhanini was saying. Yes, this ocean of nectar that we have been blessed and received so much from all of you. And I was thinking that it was nice that if we could invite again Krishna Jivani Didi, who have so much realization about the pastimes with Srila Gurudev, especially from the early days. Maybe the time was a bit short for her to share even more of this beautiful nectar and of the glories of Srila Gurudev. Didi, Krishna Jivani Didi.
Thank you very much.
It was so beautiful to hear from you, and we really hope that we can invite you again and to hear more, that you have so much to share with us about the glories of Srila Maharaj. Thank you so much, Didi.
Nothing give more pleasure to me than speak about Sripad Maharaj and with my Srila Gurudev.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha.
Please forgive us for our shortcomings, and all glories to Srila Gurudev.